Okay. So um, we move from one uh, we move from one franchise to another, and this is actually interesting news. So anybody who um, bear with me, guys. Anybody who has seen or played these games, okay, knows that this whole thing started back in the 90s with Midway and really changed how we view video games because this was the first video game that really was violent. I mean, yeah, we were Doom, but that came later and everything else. But Mortal Kombat was the first major video game that really, so whenever you go to buy your video games, okay, unless you get them digitally, and even then, okay, there's something, a little something called the ESRB, the Electronic Safety Rating Board. It's kind of like the MPA for films, but this is for video games. And basically, what they do is they look at the finished product before it's put out and marketed and say, okay, is this something that a kid could play? And so Mortal Kombat and Midway changed the game for a lot, literally and figuratively, for a lot of different reasons. So as everybody knows, okay, in the past, over the past couple of years, we've had another reiteration of Mortal Kombat. I saw it in theaters. It was okay. I mean, it was definitely a different take on it. But so, anyways, they are going to make a sequel. And this actress here, okay, is going to be playing Jade. Okay, she is in final talks right now to be playing Jade for the sequel. So her name is Tati Gabrielle, and so this comes from us. This comes from the THR. Tati Gabrielle, known for her work in the Netflix series You, as well as the chilling adventures of Sabrina, is in final negotiations to join the fifth flying cast of New Line's sequel to 2021's Mortal Kombat. Simon McQuaid, who directed the previous movie based on the video game, is back behind the joystick for the second installment, with Jeremy Slater writing the screenplay for the sequel. The sequel continues the story of a group of ragtag fighters versed in the ways of martial arts who defend our reality, which is known as in Earthrealm, against the Outworld. The first movie, released during the pandemic in both theaters and on HBO Max, remains one of the streamer's biggest hits to date. Carl Urban is already on board to play fan favorite Johnny Cage, an action movie star who enters the Mortal Kombat tournament in order to prove to naysayers he is able to do his own stunts. Gabrielle will play Jade, a heroine first seen in Mortal Kombat 2. That was the picture I was showing you here. The first video game series that thrust into the 90s pop mainstream. Jade is an assassin who's a friend and bodyguard to the character known as Princess Katana. It is expected that some of the first movie's cast, such as Jessica Namie and Josh Larson, will return. Producing are Atomic Monsters' James Wan and Michael Clear, and Broken Road producers Todd Garner. McQuaid and E. Bennett Walsh are also producing. Gabrielle has seen her character become a significant role over the course of several seasons of You, Netflix's hot button stalker show that is now in its fourth season. She first garnered notice for her work on The 100, but gained a following for playing Prudence on Sabrina. She also voiced Willow on Disney's The Owl House. On the feature side, she's also appeared to Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg in Sony's Uncharted. Okay, so I think that this is good news. That I think, that we have an upcoming actress, okay, in her that first of all she's beautiful, so I think that that's already something. I mean, the mask is going to be secondary, but I think that this is going to this is, I mean, she's beautiful, So, I mean, I think that's going to really do wonders for her. That being said, I think that this is going to be something that I got to be honest, I'm looking forward to. Okay. It was a different iteration of the character. Okay. Everybody remembers the campy, you know, the campy night, I think it was 1995, 1996 film. And then, I mean, she wasn't in that one, but, she was in Annihilation. Oh, okay. We won't talk about that. So I think it's going to be a little different there. But nonetheless, I think this is going to be good. I think obviously this is going to be a wait and see type of thing because, of course, the WGA and you've got SAG now and everything else. So with the writer's strike, all this stuff's going to get pushed back. So in a couple of years, okay, they're probably not going to start filming this until 2025. Okay, with pre-production and everything else. Maybe mid 2024. I'm just guessing. That being said, I'm interested. I'm interested because I am really wanting to see more characters and who they're going to get for this. Um, and how are they going to apply this? I mean, is it going to be the same principle where she falls in, so in Mortal Kombat, okay, Princess Katana falls in love with, in the original 95 version, she falls in love with Liu Kang. Are they going to do the same thing here, except, I could see like a love triangle type of thing. That would be an interesting dynamic. I mean, the first one was rated R after all, right? So I think they could do something like that. That's just me personally. Um, I don't know though. I think it would be fascinating, um, a fascinating thing. But I do think, like I said, the whole we have an up and coming movie. We have an up and coming star in this movie. We have Carl Urban. Okay, he's one of those actors that is. A, I mean, look, he can carry his own movie. I mean, we've seen that with Dread, right? Even though that wasn't the greatest remake in the world, he can still do that. And now you're going to have some of the other ones. It's going to be a fascinating dynamic. And who's the villain going to be? What are they going to do for Shang Tsung? Or how are they going to do that? That's going to be a fascinating thing, though. Anyways, guys, what do you think about the character casting for this? Do you like this idea of her coming in, or would you rather go get somebody else? If so, who would you get? Who would you like? Who else besides Johnny Cage and Jade would you like to see in this iteration of Mortal Kombat coming up? Leave me your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.